Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Thursday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and we're back talking some more Pittsburgh sports here today, talking about the Pirates for the most part. They, this afternoon, just wrapping up a 3-game series with their division rival and NL Central leading Chicago Cubs. Going to talk about what all went wrong in that series as they only salvaged one game. Even then, that one game came with a terrible vibe and feeling around it. I'll explain more on that. I'm sure all of you watching you are picking up on what I am referring to there. Also going to talk about what a former Pittsburgh Steelers franchise quarterback is saying about a possible future franchise quarterback for the Steelers, and also just some little loose tidbits. Not too much news in the past couple of days, mainly because of the power outages in the Western Pennsylvania region. As you can see here, I have my electricity back. Took a little longer than expected to get it back online, but happy to be back with you fine folks here this evening. If you are new here, I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel and to turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again, as well as like and share this live stream and comment in the live chat. I enjoy interacting with you fine folks when you have things to say in the comments. You can ask questions, make a statement known, all that good stuff. So I'm happy to oblige and hear what you guys think, what's on your mind. We're going to start things off here with the Pittsburgh Pirates taking one of three of the Chicago Cubs. As I was saying, I was last live on Tuesday, and I was only going to go till about 6:30 to be ready for the Bucks and Cubs first game of the series, which started at 6:40. Of course, that did not end up happening, and I did not watch much of that game due to the power outage in Western Pennsylvania, so didn't get to see much of that game, and for good reason. I think it's a good thing that I didn't watch that game. The game actually started late due to inclement weather, but honestly, the Bucks, they might as well not have come out of their clubhouse. They lost 9-0 in that ball game to the Chicago Cubs. Andrew Heaney got the start. He got knocked around a good bit. From what I was reading on Twitter, there were sell the team chants. There was even one fan, it looked like in left field, who was having a paper bag on his head and then had to have that removed per security enforcement. But just an overall horrible game. And some of these stats from the first game of the series are downright fireable offenses on behalf of Ben Cherington and Derek Shelton. The first off here, not a single position player in the field was drafted by Ben Cherington on Tuesday night's game. I don't have the lineup in front of me here, but you think the only drafted players on the Pirates right now that were drafted by Cherington that could be possibly in the lineup for the Bucks, you had Nick Gonzalez, who he's on the IL hurt. Other than that, you had Henry Davis. He was on the bench Tuesday night. He was a 1-1 pick of Ben Cherington, and he's really panned out. At least he's, Paul Skeens' personal catcher. That's the only thing he's clinging to in the big leagues right now. And then beyond that, you got guys like, I can't even say Nick York or Billy Cook. All the other guys down in the minors, they're either pitchers or they're position players who aren't even close to getting in the MLB, those who are drafted by Ben Cherington. So, just a terrible, terrible situation that the roster of this Pittsburgh Pirates team is in right now. Not a single player drafted by Ben Cherington was in the lineup Tuesday night, and this is year 6 of the rebuild. Also, Tuesday night, I think it was, Tuesday night, not a single Cubs batter struck out. Now tell me when you will ever see that again. You probably won't in your lifetime ever see a team go a single game without striking out once. All 21 outs were recorded, all 20, just in the year of pitching. You got Paul Skeens, you got some of the best pitchers ever. And that's how we do it. Like, I'm completely baffled about how we did not strike out a single batter uh in that entire game. I'm completely dumbfounded by that in an age where you got analytics and you got all of these pitching gurus. You're talking about arm slots, velocities, breaks, all that, and you can't strike out a single pitcher or a single batter. Like, pitching is supposed to be what this team is built on, and it's been very, very rocky to begin this season. Then last night, I'm going to be brief on last night's game. The Pirates ended up coming back. I think it was in the 6th or the 7th inning. Andrew McCutchen came up clutch, hit a ball up the middle. It ricocheted off of the Cubs shortstop, Dansby Swanson, and went into right field. 2 runs scored. David Bednar came in and got the save. Carmen Majinski, who I still think should be in the bullpen right now, he went 4 innings, which is about, all you can rely on him for. So he did his part, and the Bucks ended up winning 4-3, their first comeback win of the season, after trailing in going into the 6th inning. I'm going to keep that at that. There's more to talk about in that game aside from the game itself. I think you all know what I'm talking about there. Now let's talk about today. It was a Skeens day in Pittsburgh, and the Pirates, they got out to a nice 2-0 lead. Brian Reynolds hit a home run. O'Neal Cruz came up with a couple of good hits, and they were up 2-0. Then we saw Paul Skeens become mortal today. A 5th inning from hell for Paul Skeens. He gave up 3 home runs, and these weren't moonshots, folks. These were just wall scrapers that only reached the first, if not the first, the second or third rows in the stands. Just 3 wall scrapers, I believe. It was from Kyle Tucker and Seiya Suzuki were 2 of the 3. I can't remember who hit the third, but Paul Skeens was mortal. And once the Bucks, got down and you can see that momentum shift, you knew it was going to be over. The final score ended up being 8-3. Paul Skeens also, with his 3 homers given up in the 5th inning, he also walked at least 4 in the ball game today. So his command wasn't there at all. So Bucks were able to barely scrape out 1 of 3 in that series, and things are looking very, very bleak. It feels like the season's over, honestly, and we are only on May 1st here. Just some other notes from the Bucks today. Derek Shelton wasn't even the manager for the Pirates. He was attending his son's graduation from Florida Atlantic University, so he was not in Pittsburgh today. Bench coach Donnie Kelly was the Bucks acting manager today, and you were hoping to see maybe a win here, because that would have, cranked up the heat all that much more on Derek Shelton and the hot seat that he is on right now. But Donnie Kelly managing the Pirates today, they couldn't get the series win over the Cubbies. Just a couple of other loose Pirate notes, roster transactions and all that over the past couple of days that I haven't been able to get out due to the power outages. Jared Jones, this is from I believe yesterday, he has begun throwing activity, so he is just beginning his trek on the way back to the Bucks. There, it's been almost exactly about the time that we expected him to be out, 6 to 8 weeks, with that shoulder or that elbow strain that he was dealing with. So Jared Jones, he is going to be working his way back soon. Dennis Santana, he is not with the team currently. He is on bereavement leave. I'm not sure if I was able to get that in to Tuesday's stream before I lost power, but yes, Dennis Santana, he is not with the team on bereavement leave. Hunter Stratton was recalled from AAA Indianapolis. Also, another pitcher who is beginning his journey back to the Bucks main club, right-handed relief pitcher Dari Moreta. He began a rehab assignment on Tuesday night in Bradenton. So he's down in Pirate City, beginning his comeback journey. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Go to the comments section. Hey, what's up, man? Not much talking Bucko baseball here today, and just how poorly built this team is right now. Talking about Tuesday, especially, didn't get to see much of the game because Western Pennsylvania had power knocked out, and actually, there's still bits and pieces around Pittsburgh, people who won't be getting power back for 5 to 7 days. I'm thankful for where I live, that I was able to get power back quicker than others. So I'm here with you on this Thursday evening, just talking about the Bucks. Tuesday night's game was a disaster. Really, all three games in this series were a disaster. Two with on-field play, and one with what happened unrelated to the game. I'm going to get to that here in a minute, but just things going terribly for the Bucks, and this season feels completely and totally over right now, and we're only May 1st. We are in prime June, July moods here about the Buccos, and it's just not good. Even when Paul Skeens goes out there, he's become mortal. Gave up 3 homers today, walked 4, and just not good. Otherwise, I hope everything's good with you. I am going to real quick. Hey, again, damn man, glad you got it back. And yeah, today's game sucked. When they pulled Skeens, I couldn't listen to the game anymore. Just so sad. Haven't watched many games. Just a defeating feeling. Yeah, it's completely. Yeah, we're completely deflated here, and we're stuck in the water. I mean, we can get probably Derek Shelton fired, but you're probably looking at him maybe get like another half month here at the helm, at least. So, I mean, even if you do fire Derek Shelton, what's that really going to change? Because the bigger problem is Ben Cherington, and the biggest problem is Bob Nutting. So, even if you get rid of Shelton and put in Donnie Kelly, you're just putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole right now. And this team might have already gotten the kill shot this year because they have to win 80 something games in their next 130 to, even get a winning record, something like that. So it's like another year 6 of the rebuild. And we are just stuck in the mud. I do see. Hang on here 1 second. Yes, sir. All good out delivering some packages. Good to hear that. And I see your other comment there. That's what I'm going to get to right now. So I intentionally did not talk much about the game last night, and for good reason. To really, last night it was, a baseball second. Thoughts and prayers to a gentleman. So last night, this was during the play of McCutchen hitting the ball up the middle, it ricocheting off of Cubs shortstop Dansby Swanson and going into right field. During the play, a fan who was sitting, if you're looking at the Clemente wall, like say from like the camera from the backstop behind home plate, from the far left side of the Clemente wall, there was a gentleman. I believe he was about 24 years old, so right around my age range, fell from the top of the Clemente wall and landed on the warning track in a very vulnerable position. And, it took a minute there. It took like a couple seconds there. O'Neal Cruz for the Pirates in the dugout. I think he was one of the first Pirates personnel in the dugout to point out, hey, somebody fell from the top of the wall. They're laying out there, on the warning track. You saw both managers, Derek Shelton and Craig Counsell for the Cubs, run out and tell the umpires, hey, we got something going on out here. Then you saw almost immediately, you saw the trainers for the Cubs, the Pirates, so a couple of non-team affiliated doctors and other, police. The cart came out, the medical cart came out. Just a scary incident. Like I said, I'm not going to show it or talk to it in detail. I'm sure if you go onto Twitter or X, you won't necessarily need to find some of the videos of this gentleman falling off the wall. The video will find you. It's just all over the place right now. Terrible situation. He landed down on the ground. Head first, from what it looked like. I believe, I'm going to read a couple of things that I have starred here that, but one of his friends or, companions there jumped from the lower section beside the Clemente wall onto the field, and just terrible situation. The Pirates last night, they released a statement, I think right as the game ended, about the situation. This was in like the 6th or 7th inning that this incident occurred. Said, tonight during the 7th inning of the game at PNC Park, an adult male fell from the right field bleachers onto the field of play. Again, that is a 21-foot drop from the top of the Clemente wall to the playing surface. Pittsburgh EMS, as well as the Pirates and Cubs athletic training teams and other PNC Park personnel, reacted and responded immediately and administered care. He was transported to Allegheny General Hospital, which I believe is no more than a mile away from PNC Park. So thankfully, the gentleman receiving care did not need to go far. No further information is available at this time. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. So that was from last night from the Pittsburgh Public Safety account on Twitter. They said that they posted earlier today, new from on the fan who fell from the right field bleachers at PNC Park. Police were investigating it, but the Pittsburgh Public Safety account said this incident is being treated as accidental in nature. The patient remains in critical condition at the hospital. And also, I was listening to 93.7 The Fan this morning. They said that no other information other than that patient is in critical condition and that patient has a skull fracture is known at this time. So that is all we knew. It was a very scary scene. It looked like once the gentleman hit the warning track, he was motionless and looked to be unconscious. But no other information, I think, has been made public at this time, other than that gentleman is in critical condition with a skull fracture at least, and just a very, very scary time. I know that, I wasn't even in the ballpark, and I was having trouble last night watching the game, trying to pay attention to, what exactly was happening in the game. Thankfully, it was, a smooth going game. There wasn't, too much newsworthy things beyond that. After the game last night, Craig Counsell and Derek Shelton, who I mentioned, the managers of both clubs, they, had, I don't think, a minute 30 combined talking with post-game reporters. All they talked about was the incident. I think at least the Bucks clubhouse, it was probably the Cubs clubhouse as well, were shut off from the media last night. And last thing I have on this was before today's game, Andrew McCutchen spoke about the incident involving the fan. He said that he and the team all got together after the game in the locker room, and they said a collective prayer to the fan. And that before the game today, there was the Pirates over the PA system, they did address the situation. There was a statement released from Bob Nutting today, just a couple of hours before first pitch, said, we are all deeply saddened and truly heartbroken after the terrible accident that occurred last night. It was one of the most difficult moments many of us have ever experienced. We are devastated. Pirates baseball is a community, and our fans are like family. In times like these, we must come together, support one another, and keep him and his loved ones in our prayers. We also want to thank and appreciate the efforts of the first responders who rushed to his attention and provided him compassionate care. So That was the statement from Bob Nutting here today. There's also something, I don't have it here because I do not know exactly if it is true, but I think it wasn't a Twitter post, but it was something else that I saw today that that was from a fan's recollection of the event. But I'm not going to talk about that right now because I don't know anything about that. And hang on here. So this is just from Noah Hiles a little bit ago. The identity of the man who fell, 20 years old, a McKeesport native. That is who fell from the wall. So yeah, just yeah, terrible situation. Yeah, damn. Hope he pulls through. He's 20 years old. T's and P's. Yeah, not much more we can do. Just pray for him and his family. Hope that everything comes out good in the end, and hope that he pulls through. And if he does pull through, pray for him as he'll have a long journey, towards getting some semblance of normal life back to him. So for the time being, I think I'm gonna move on now here to something other than the tragic event last night. Not much Pittsburgh Steelers news lately. We're still relatively on the heels of the draft. I think I hit on it Tuesday night that the Steelers, they signed wide receiver Robert Woods to a 1-year contract. He actually was in the Steelers facility today. He put pen to paper, so that is official. I think voluntary workouts are still going on right now. But anyways, still all anybody's talking about right now is about the draft. It's, we're officially a week, beyond the first round later tonight, and we got some encouraging words from former Pittsburgh Steelers franchise quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, who talked about the current Pittsburgh Steelers, or a possible future franchise quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Will Howard. Ben, of course, was on his Football and podcast, and among the many things he said, I'm really excited about this pick. I just saw the clip of where he got the call. I'm sure everybody has seen that right now. Will Howard, between what was put out on social media and on that, hey, rookie, welcome to the NFL show on TV. So Ben said, I'm really excited about this pick. I just saw the clip of where he got the call. To me, that's a love of the game, not caring where you're getting drafted, not caring what round you're getting drafted, being excited to get to the NFL. That's what you want. And I agree wholeheartedly with Ben. He was also talking about just how Will Howard has the natural love for the game of football, because in this day and age with NIL in college, you are not seeing the loyalty or the love for the game anymore from kids who are in college and, playing college football, getting to the NFL, because they're getting paid now. They're doing it for the money. There's a very slim population of college football players who are truly playing college football for the love of the game and to make a long-term career of it in the NFL, because they're getting paid by NIL money. You got kids, not facing adversity, not fighting for their spot on the team. They're just chasing after the next, college with an open position that's going to throw a couple $1,000 at them, or $1 million, whatever the case may be. So I love what Ben said about that there. He also talked about how Will Howard this past season with Ohio State, they won the national championship, but it wasn't a cakewalk. He was talking about how Will Howard, almost pretty much single-handedly cost Ohio State a chance to win a regular season game against Oregon, sliding down in bounds with no time left on the clock. Also talking about the Michigan game. Of course, that is the greatest rivalry in college football, Michigan, Ohio State, and just had very, very high praise for Will Howard, kind of like how all of us Steelers fans have about Will Howard. He looks the part, he acts the part. It's just a matter of if he's going to go out there and perform the part. He's got the size, the athletic gifts bestowed upon him by God, and he's got the right mentality, always looking forward to the next play, always leading the way for his teammates around him. So great to see that Big Ben had some high praise for him. I'm scrolling here just willy-nilly. I'm seeing the video again of Will Howard getting the call. You can hear Omar Khan on the other side of the line there saying, "You ready to be a Steeler?" And Will Howard, just the pure elation in his face. He just wanted to be here. I do have here a couple of quotes from Will Howard just to show you, how much of a perfect fit he is for this team, whether he will play his way into a starting role or whether he'll be a long-term backup. He's got the right mentality on him. One of his quotes, the draft, "I'm not going to lie, it's not about when, it's where." That's what I kept saying to myself. I had to trust in God and believe that he had a plan for me and the right team was going to pick me. And I believe 100% that the right team picked me. I mean, I'm going to, go back and rewatch the "Hey, rookie, welcome to the NFL" thing probably over the next couple of nights. Just perfect fit. Another quote here. This one got posted from the Steelers today. Will Howard said, "The Steelers are an organization I have had a lot of respect for a lot of years. Coming into this process, I was hoping the Steelers would take me because I thought it was a great organization. I am so blessed." And I think, behalf of all Steelers fans, we are blessed to have you. So A in the comment here, "He was my favorite QB. You lost your last stream before the draft. I even commented here saying I'd take him. But at the time, all anybody was hearing was Sanders or Jackson Dart." And yeah, and I think another thing, I think it was from one of the 93.7 The Fan. It was from one of 93.7 The Fan's Steelers reporters here. Give me a second to find it. I think it's around here somewhere. This from Ray Fittipaldo from 93.7 The Fan. He said that if Will Howard and Shadur Sanders were both still available at pick 185 in the 6th round, the Steelers still would have taken Will Howard. And now looking back on it, I wasn't all the way in on the Shadur Sanders hype. I was part of the way in, just maybe thinking maybe, hey, he got his, dad's genetics. Maybe he can make something of an NFL starter. But I'm glad Will Howard's here. He's kind of the modern day dual threat quarterback. And go back, if you haven't already, and look up John Gruden's QB class on Will Howard. And I got to tell you, if I had, a bottle of bourbon in my hand and the name of the game was take a shot every single time that when John Gruden is talking about Will Howard, that he mentions the name Josh Allen, I'd be drunk. And I'd be probably still blacked out drunk here to this day. So, I just hope that he gets his opportunity. He said, all I need is a shot. And he said Will Howard's been, saying the same thing. Like, I've been overlooked my entire career. I'm just waiting for my opportunity. And let's hope that he gets it in the black and gold here. If Aaron Rodgers does not sign, maybe you start Mason Rudolph, throw Will Howard in, and you see what he can do. 6th round pick, that is a very low risk, very high reward pick there for a quarterback who just won the national championship and on the run to the national championship played his best football. He only rose to the he kept rising to the occasion the more and more that the stakes got higher. So I agree. Also, I think I saw another thing looking at your comment there, Jackson Dart. The Steelers allegedly did have a 1st round grade on Jackson Dart. but still they took Derek Harmon over them. So it looked like Harmon and defensive lineman and maybe even Omari and Hampton, the running back from UNC who went right after the Steelers pick at 21. It looked like the Steelers all the way were not even considering taking a first-round quarterback unless every single person on their board that they had a first-round grade on was gone. So, yeah, I agree with that there. Willis played a lot of ball, too, all very high level. Yeah, I think it was on the Gruden QB class. I think it was 43 starts in college, 3 years at Kansas State, 1 year at Ohio State. So he's got a lot of very crucial experience starting in college. I absolutely love that pick. And like I said, wrapping up this whole thing, Big Ben, sort of having fun saying, oh, he's the next me, but in a very kind, joking way. But, Will Howard, he looks the part and he acts the part in his words off the field. It's just a matter of if he can go out there on Sundays and be the part. And I just hope that Mike Tomlin will give him the chance, even if Aaron Rodgers does come here next year, because Rodgers is only going to be here for a year. And unless you are, well ahead in the AFC North division and you're a legit Super Bowl contender, and Aaron Rodgers for some reason has found the fountain of youth and he looks like the 4-time Super Bowl MVP that he once was, unless all of that happens, give Will Howard, a good solid 2-3 game stretch next year, see what he got, see if he can surprise a lot of people, open up a lot of eyes, and even though it's a strong quarterback class next year, see if he has the makings of potentially being a guy. I'm super happy for you guys. I thought you killed the draft. I'm stoked with the Chargers pick. Yeah, thank you again for commenting on the stream. I think it was Monday night. I put out a video of all of the reactions that me and my father had to the draft picks. So go check that out when you got a couple minutes. But yeah, thank you. I think the Steelers killed it this draft. Now it's just a matter of here in, 3 weeks to a month, getting them out on the field for the first OTAs at the Steelers facility, and then it's on to Latrobe later this summer. Let me do a quick stroll here through Twitter to see if we got anything new here. One of the various Penguins fan accounts like me posted a clip from an article. I don't know which article it's from, of one potential coaching candidate for the Pittsburgh Penguins. This article has Todd Reardon named. Ugh. That is disgusting. No thank you. No thank you. No thank you. So okay, so that wasn't any Pittsburgh related. All right, gonna move on here. This is really gonna be the just a small, main news portion of the show. Got two things saved here. It is that we could be hearing for a decision for Mike Sullivan soon on where he will be coaching next. Believe it was on Tuesday before I lost power. I meant to put this in the video. Jim Rutherford, current general manager of the Vancouver Canucks, they just let go of Tocchet up there in Vancouver. So Tocchet could now be a candidate for this Penguins. I doubt it though. Anyways, talking about their coaching opening and the possibility of Sullivan going out to Vancouver and realigning with Jim Rutherford once again. Rutherford shot down the idea of that happening, saying, I know my good friend Mike Sullivan does not want to leave the East. He's a really good family man. Rutherford also added that he talked to Sully on Monday, and there won't be a reunion there. So Jim Rutherford shutting out Mike Sullivan, going west altogether. Now moving on to today. This here, if I still have it right here. This from Vince Mercogliano. He is a New York Rangers beat reporter for USA Today and a couple of other outlets. He said the New York Rangers haven't confirmed or announced anything official yet, but it sounds like things are getting close and very much trending towards Mike Sullivan becoming the 38th head coach in Rangers franchise history. So here's my shocked face. We all kind of knew it. And honestly, you best believe that regardless of how, things might have ended there in like the, what is it, week to week and a half span between Sullivan saying, I intend on being the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, to him mutually parting ways with the team just a couple of days ago. I think Sullivan, it's not too far-fetched to think that he had a couple of deals, in place, a couple of teams that he knew had lucrative offers in place for him. And it looks like, the favorable one, the one that we all expected in New York, will be happening here soon. Now, before I, get into the sort of strolling through Twitter and answering any other questions that you guys may have, this is just the loose story portion of the show. Just going to scroll through some of my loose stories here and see what's going on. Tuesday, again, another story here that I wanted to get in before the power outage. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they did sign prospect forward Philip Krall to a 2-year contract that has an AAV of $775,000. Krall spent the 2024-25 season in the Swedish Hockey League. He got 26 goals and 53 points, ranking second in the entire Swedish Hockey League. Also had 27 assists, which was 10 most in the league. So Philip Krall, Philip Hollander, excuse me. Sorry, not Philip Krall, Philip Hollander signed a 2-year contract. I believe he made a cameo appearance with the Penguins a couple of years ago, though I'm not sure. Speaking of another Penguins player, it must be baby having season. Saw Tristan Jarry had a kid a couple of weeks ago. Rickard Rakell announced that he also is a dad again last week, and now I'm not sure if this is his first child or not. I would like to think so. Congratulations to Vladislav Kolyachonok and his partner on welcoming their son Miro. Not sure how you would pronounce that, Russian wise, but Miro Kolyachonok, welcome to the world, and congratulations to all the Pittsburgh Penguins players who are becoming dads this offseason. Another Penguins update here. This is really a league-wide update. Is that I will be live here at whatever time this starts on Monday night. So Monday here, May 5th coming up, the NHL Draft Lottery for this year will take place. That will be broadcasted on ESPN Sportsnet and TVA Sports. So I think, not sure, what I'm going to do for that. I think it's only like a half hour broadcast. So I might be live Monday, maybe for the first hour talking some, news stories from the weekend and all that. And then I'll be live for like the second hour of the stream. We'll react to the draft lottery and see if the Penguins do indeed get a top 3 pick or the top overall pick. I believe the Pens are currently 9th with a 5% chance of getting the first overall pick. So we'll be live on Monday night reacting to the NHL Draft Lottery. Moving on here to some Pittsburgh Steelers news. Of course, I mentioned this on either Monday or Tuesday stream that Steelers 6th round pick from last year, the 2024 draft, safety Ryan Watts from Texas. He got released from the team and he has medically retired from football. He suffered a neck injury last preseason and missed the entirety of last year. Now he is medically retired from football. He has now, this is from Tuesday night, I believe, released a statement on his decision and the doctor's decision for him to retire from football. And I quote, "I have dedicated my entire life to my dream of playing professional football since I was just 6 years old. Because of the injury I sustained last year, I had to make the heartbreaking decision to step away from the game that I've worked so hard for. While the situation is extremely difficult to come to terms with, I remain grateful to the Pittsburgh Steelers organization for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to make my NFL dreams come true. Thank you to the Rooney family, General Manager Omar Khan, Coach Tomlin, Dr. Okonkwo, and his medical staff, and the entire Steeler family for treating me with immense care and respect during this challenging time. I remain optimistic about the opportunities that lie ahead, and I am still very proud of how far I've come. As a competitor, I refuse to let this setback define me. While my current path may be changing, I remain open to new opportunities and possibilities. My passion and determination are stronger than ever, and I trust with God's guidance, I will find the strength to embrace whatever comes next. My journey is far from over." So that a very emotional statement there from Ryan Watts, who just very sad didn't even get to play a single snap of regular season football in the NFL. And my best wishes to him on whatever comes next in his career. Next here on the Steelers that I have is that a couple more undrafted free agent rookie minicamp invitees have come across the ticker. First here is Gareth Warren. He is an offensive lineman from Lindenwood. He has been invited to the Steelers minicamp. Also, JMU wide receiver Omarion Dollison also got an invite to minicamp. So another offensive lineman and another wide receiver will be at minicamp for the Steelers. And speaking of rookie minicamp, I just said that the coming up here on May 5th, Monday, will be the NHL draft lottery. Few days after that, rookie minicamp will take place from May 9th through the 11th. Mandatory minicamp will take place June 10th through the 12th. Then OTA offseason workouts will take place May 27th through the 29th, and then June 3rd through the 5th. So the 2025-26 NFL season, I should say, they are about ready to begin the preseason portion of it. Rookie minicamp coming up here in 9 days. So good news there. We will have more Steeler football to talk about here, and we'll get out of this dead period between the draft and rookie minicamp that we currently find ourselves in. Just looking here at some other things here. This here from Seawolf PGH on Twitter. I just wanted to star this just to talk about the Bucs and how bad things are right now. The Pirates' offensive ranks so far this season: 26th in batting average, 23rd in OBP, 28th in slugging percentage, 27th in OPS, 25th in strikeouts, 24th in RBIs, 21st in hits, 27th in home runs, and 24th in doubles. So not a single statistic, kind of like last year and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that. The Pirates couldn't even get out of the 20s in all major batting statistical categories. And just, yeah, again, like I said, season's pretty much already over. We're just, here to watch and get angry just to feel something over the summer. All the Bucs needed to be was at least average with the bats, and maybe you're, instead of being 11-21 or whatever the hell their record is right now, instead of being that, if you just had average batting, you'd maybe be closer to 500 instead of 9-10 games under 500. You maybe be, I don't know, 3 or 4 right now, a much better spot than where you're currently in. You'd still, have some shot here, but just unbelievably incompetent managing and general managing and ownership. Just all around bad. The unholy trinity of baseball failure between Bob Nutting, Ben Cherington, and Derek Shelton right here. Believe the last thing that I have here is just today. Shout out Pat Fryermuth. He delivered lunch to frontline workers in the Pittsburgh community to thank them for their continued efforts in restoring the area after Tuesday's storm that caused significant damage and power outages. So Pat Fryermuth and the Steelers given a helping hand and given some much needed food for energy to all the workers out there still restoring power in Western Pennsylvania. Great to see there that all is happening. And if you are watching this and your power still not on, just remain patient here. People are working very, very hard. I keep seeing, all the tweets out there in the world, all the posts out there on social media of why isn't my power back on? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, do you want to go out there? Do you want to do this? Like, some of these guys, if they're not replacing whole new telephone poles, they're going up, quite a bit in the air, and they're working with live wires and electricity. They're doing a very dangerous job. And, you not being able to watch TV or whatever, your frustrations shouldn't be pouring over, taking it out on them. You want to take it out on someone, take it out on like the corporation, the bigger, suits and ties who, maybe had crappy transformers and power lines and stuff to begin with. Don't take it out on the people who are restoring power. Now I'm just scrolling through X here to see if there's any other news here from the day before I log off for the evening. If you have any other comments or questions or any of that sort of thing, get them in now. What are we thinking? I keep seeing this. I'm just scrolling past another post about it. 100 unarmed men versus one gorilla. What do y'all think about that? That seems to be the biggest question in the entire world right now. Depends on what men we send in my opinion. If it's one gorilla versus, an ordinary Joe like me, 100 ordinary Joes like me, then I'm taking the gorilla 9 times out of 10. But if we get to pick what 100 unarmed men we send in there, like we send a couple, Navy SEALs, we send in like Brock Lesnar. I saw like somebody do an all NFL one. It's like, we're going to send in DK Metcalf, Derrick Henry. We're going to send in Desmond Watson and Vita Vea from the Bucks. We're going to send in, whoever else that's big and jacked. Nick Bosa, the Bosa brothers, Max Crosby. Just, if we can send in, those guys, couple Navy SEALs, like I said, couple MMA fighters, Chandler Jones or John Jones, Brock Lesnar, maybe then we might stand a chance 100 men against one gorilla, because, a regular Joe gorilla versus, 100, regular guys like me, no chance. Even then, if you even send in everybody who I just talked about, a regular gorilla against even like some of the baddest humans walking the planet, maybe the humans win, but that gorilla's taken some of the humans with them. So I'm just riffing here. Not really seeing much else other than that. Take one last stroll here, see if anything else new is going on. Not seeing too much there, so I think I'm going to wrap things up there for the evening. So Pirates drop 2 of 3 in their first series of this homestand against the Cubs. They are back in action starting tomorrow night. It's a 3-game weekend series against the San Diego Padres. I expect that to go just as swimmingly as this series against the NL Central leading Cubs did. You're going to face Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill. It'll be Mitch Keller, Bailey Falter, and Andrew Heaney on the bump in this upcoming series. So we're expecting more of the riveting, all in, we got to make the playoffs this year success that the Pittsburgh Pirates have brought upon us so far this season. Might be getting some Mike Sullivan news on where he will next end up as a head coach, most likely for the New York Rangers. We'll keep tabs on some other Pittsburgh Steelers news and Pittsburgh sports news in general over the past couple of days. But I'm going to end today's stream saying, just one more time, thoughts and prayers to the gentleman who fell from the Clemente Wall last night. Thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Hope that he pulls through. He remains in critical condition from what we last have seen, what has been made public. So we're hoping for the best in that situation. And just be careful out there. You see a loved one, hold them tight, because you never know when some freak accident like that is going to happen, and will change not only that young man's life, 20 years old, will not only change his life, but the life of many people around him. So thoughts and prayers to him. With that, thank you all for joining me here on this Thursday evening. I'll be back here tomorrow night, probably around the same time, between 5 and 6 o'clock like normal. We'll wrap up the week of Pittsburgh sports news. And until then, hope you all have a good rest of your evening. Shout out A, see your comment there. Have a good night, bro. You too, A, have a good rest of your night. Same to the rest of you in here right now. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Like and share this stream and comment on it after the fact. Appreciate you all. Have a good rest of your night, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Peace.